All right, so we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna be very quick with this one because I don't, like I end up saying on my post, need to get a new graphics card. So obviously, the reason why my computer keeps on shutting down is because of the graphics card. So we'll make sure we end up getting it straightened out. But let's go to the U.S. Australian dollar. Let's finish up with this pair. I'm just gonna end up talking very briefly about it, and then after that, we'll move on from there. Remember. So we look at this based off of the daily move. There's a daily D extension on this overall move at 70.55. That's the first initial position where I'm looking at being able to get out when it comes down to this overall pair. But I do know overall, I know that there's a point of control at 68.55, which is about another 150 pips from that overall position. And then after that, we have our daily 3 at 2, which is at 66.50. So overall, there are positions where I'm looking at being able to take profit in. But I know that I'm being very patient and being able to get into this one. I was fortunate enough to be able to look at the 2 hour and be able to catch it at a particular spot where this market basically ended up rising up to this overall support area, which was right around this area. And I'm getting ready to show a couple arrows at 73.20. 73.20 was a high for the overall move. We can see that it basically ended up trying to break past this area a couple times and it was not able to. From there, we end up having a counter trend line break basically at that overall move. I caught that on the 15-minute time, and then after that, looked at trading it all the way down to the downside. Now, currently, right now, we're looking at this market. We can start to see that this market is starting to lose a little bit of its overall steam, but currently it's up 53 pips at this particular point. You're trading this off of a standard lot that's $530. If you're trading this off of a mini lot that's $53. Either way, it's profit in your pocket, which is very good at this particular point. But the one thing that I do not like is that it's falling down to a point to where it ended up finding support. So the question that I'm having to myself right now, and this is me being perfectly honest, is that are we looking at support right here, and are we looking at resistance right here? And we're just playing consolidation at this particular point. Now, that is a very valid question that we can be able to ask ourselves when it comes down to movement. And the only way that we'll be able to get that answer is by being able to see what happens the rest of the day for this moving toward the upside. If this market keeps up, if this market breaks down and it stays at this particular portion and goes towards the downside, then that means that the daily move and everything else is ready to go. We look at the U.S. dollar index. We can see that the U.S. dollar index is hopefully ready to go for this move, at least at the beginning portions of this morning. But obviously, it's a long trading day, so we have to be able to pay attention to that. I'm going to look at 15-minute keys to be able to tell me if I need to get out of the pair, depending on if there's strong volume to the upside for this particular move. And then after that, I end up making my decision from there. But it hasn't broke a parabolic SAR or anything else like that to be able to say that I should be getting out for this buying as of yet. For selling as of yet. But U.S. Canadian dollar, if you're not in, what I would do is wait for a counter trend line break toward the upside, and then after that, be able to trade it down. For me, because I'm trading so high of a leverage, I'm trying to see if I'm going to be a little bit more patient or if I'm just going to take profit right here, right now, and then after that, wait for the market to go back up. Now, we look at the U.S. Swiss franc. Remember, the U.S. Swiss franc was the first move that we end up taking for sales. If you are live on this one, if you would, please make sure that you end up liking the page and sharing this to someone else so I can be able to, one, say hey to you individually for being able to hop in, and two, obviously, I want to be able to gain a little bit more engagement. So if you would share this to somebody that you think that would be interested in this video, obviously it's 7 o'clock in the morning. But if you send a like, I definitely end up sending some feedback your way, or send some stuff your way when it comes down to saying thank you, being very appreciative to what you're doing. So we look at this from a weekly. This market ended up hitting the weekly. It hit the weekly D extension, it hit the daily D extension. So that means that the market once again is in a state of transition. That is the term for this overall week, or this overall movement. So currently right now we see that this market fell into a support area at 90.50, but has not broken past the resistance area at 91.80. If it breaks past the resistance area at 91.80, then that means that it has a chance of being able to go up to the 9300 area, in which that's the area of where we're looking at being able to get out at this particular position. Currently right now we can see that the stochastic is at 52%, which means that the market is getting a little bit to a position to where it could be overbought. But right now, I do believe that it's in a very good position of being able to maintain its overall move toward the upside, as long as the U.S. dollar remains to be stronger today and going into the near future for its overall trading. So the weekly is up. We look at the daily. We see that this market ended up breaking a trend line towards the upside, fell down to broke a trend line towards the upside, fell down to support, end up maintaining its overall push on that trend line right there, and started to bounce back up with a counter trend line. With that being said, that is a very good, strong move towards the upside. Like what we ended up talking about last week, we said that we wanted to get all of our trades in before the market ended up going to the 91 area, transitioning, looking at being able to get out at the 93 area to the 97 area, back up to where parity is. So currently right now, if you're not in this particular spot right now, what I would look for is a 2-hour look for a 2-hour retracement. This market just hit the 2-hour D extension. So with the market just hitting the 2-hour D extension, we should see that this market will start to give us a little bit of a retracement. And then after that, you can look to be able to buy it back up once a new counter trend line break happens. So what I expect for the market to be able to do at this particular point is to start doing this. And then once it gives you a low price in the 2-hour zone, then after that, look for another trade to go back up from there. So that is counter trend trade on 101. This being able to look and see when the market gets down to a low price, once it breaks past that counter trend zone, counter trend line break, then after that you can be able to trade it up here. We've done that a couple times as of yet. We did it right here when the market broke up, gave us a little bit of a dip right here. We bought it again. Market just hit a 2-hour D extension, so we're seeing a little bit of a retracement. We have to be able to pay attention to that because that's happening on every pair right now at this particular point in time. And as we look at it right now, I'm getting ready to take profit on some of my pairs right now. Just took profit on the Australian dollar, United States dollar for one of my trading pairs. I'm going to be a little bit more patient on the biggest pair. I'm just going to see how far I can be able to take that one. And then after that, we'll end up going from there. So that's U.S. Swiss franc. Let's leave off with the U.S. CAD. Let's go ahead and get through it and be able to move on from there. We look at the U.S. Canadian dollar. We can see that once again, this market is in a state of transition. We had that same move toward the upside. Currently, right now, if we're looking at this overall pair, we can see that on the daily, the market has broken out of this triangle that was actually being shown right here at this particular point. From there, you have a breakout and you have a retest that's about to happen. From here, we're looking at the 2-hour for the move of being able to trade it towards the upside. And we have that same counter trend line break that we just had right there. You trade counter trend line breaks and you trade it in the buy zone, you're looking at a strong position of being able to trade and being able to get in force positions. This is 101 for what we end up doing on every one of our trades and the things that we end up teaching in our master class and our boot camp classes and everything else like that. So this is a textbook position. We end up catching it right here on the first move. Market ended up going back up. Had a little bit of a retracement right here. Caught it when the market ended up going back up. We were maintained to be able to buy all of our positions before 132. Currently, the market is at 132 at this particular point. We are looking to be able to get out at 135. At this particular position right now, we're saying from here, at this particular position, we have about 343 pips left for this move. So while this market is actually moving, we're going to keep on trying to look for low prices to be able to get in and be able to take our positions. But overall, I do think that this is a very solid position to stay in at this particular point. So that is pretty much it for today when it comes down to all of our trading positions at this particular point in time. Obviously, it's early in the morning, so we're going to see how everything kind of reacts when it comes down to the overall trading session for the U.S. session. Typically, it opens up at 8 o'clock. We should see that there will probably be a little bit of a dip in action from this morning's movement. I don't know how far it's going to end up being, but there probably will be a little bit of a dip in action. But overall, it's still a great trading opportunity toward the upside for the U.S. pairs at this particular point. If you're not in, wait for the market to be able to give a little bit of a retracement, and then after that, look at being able to get in from there. If you like what I end up doing, please make sure that you like the Carter Cow Capital business page on YouTube. Please make sure that you end up going to Trade with Travis on YouTube and actually end up subscribing to there. Also, go to Carter Cow Trading on Instagram and be able to show some love right there. We have content that is different on all three of these pages. Obviously, we do live streams on all three, but all of the content's a little bit different. One is teaching more education. Another one's doing live streams like this. And then a third one is being able to teach you about what we do for us, our overall boot camp class, and giving you a lot of information from there. If you're interested in being able to learn about the boot camp, it's going to end up being September 28th to October 2nd. I'm going to end up placing in a post on my Facebook page, and I'm going to end up having it on Instagram as well. If you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more, please hop into that and get all the knowledge that you need to be able to learn how to be able to create passive income like we're doing here. Once again, believe in yourself. Once again, change will end up happening. And like always, plan your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all a little bit later on doing the reactions about what ended up happening earlier today at 5 p.m. Take it easy.